Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, my second video, I'm going to be doing a in-depth tutorial. I was supposed to do a get ready with me yesterday for my first video, but my camera glitched so many times and I had to reapply makeup to try to get the footage, but at one point I just had to stop and just sit down and talk instead of doing a get ready with me. But today I want to do an in-depth full face, concentrating on complexion, not necessarily the eyes. The eyes is going to be very soft, but it's going to flow perfect with the complexion. Complexion is kind of what I know best because it's what I've been doing the longest. Eyeshadow, I only recently got into doing eyeshadow. When I decided I wanted to start posting about makeup and start my YouTube channel, that's when I was like, okay, you need to do more than face makeup, you need to get into eyeshadow. So I got into eyeshadow like 3 months ago and I love it. I think it's so fun. It's like such an art, but I still got some improvement to do. But with my base, I'm pretty confident with that. So let's just get into this video because it's gonna be a long one. So I already went in off camera and carved out my brows. I didn't want to do that on camera because it's kind of pointless, but I got a light concealer, like one of the lightest shades I can find, and I just carved out, cleaned up my brow, and with my finger I patted it out because I wanted to blend in very naturally with my eye. So let's start with our eyes. I'm going to be going in with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm going to just put a generous amount, and I'm going to blend this in with the tiny little beauty blender or beauty sponge. And I'm gonna bring this eyeshadow primer all the way out to the side of my face because I like to smoke out my eyeshadow. This look is actually not gonna require any eyeshadow. I'm actually gonna be going in with my bronzer that I'm gonna be using on my face and with the blush. I know, very natural. I'm gonna start off by using my Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade 102, and I'm just gonna put it on my crease and kind of shape my eye and start contouring my nose. This step doesn't have to be too precise because the bronzer is not as pigmented as a normal eyeshadow, so it's gonna be hard to mess this up. Now I'm gonna be bringing in this bronzer shade to my nose because I find that when I bronze this section right here, that it snatches up my nose and starts my nose contour. Now that we've deepened up our crease and snatched our eye shape a bit, I'm gonna be going in with my blush. This is the Flesh blush in the color Rub. And on the pan, as you guys can see, it's like a very intense pink. I'm placing this shade just above the crease, and I'm gonna smoke it out into the bronzer. With this pink shade, I'm basically just going to create a soft cut crease. Now that I've finished smoking this pink blush shade into the side of my face, I'm gonna be going in with this Marc Jacobs contour palette, and it has a light shade right here, so I'm gonna be going in with this light shade to basically kind of clean up a bit where we kind of did the cut crease. I want to keep it soft but still have it a little defined. That's why I'm not going to be going in with concealer. I'm trying to keep this eyeshadow as natural as I can because I'm going to be going in with some black eyeliner and doing some winged liner. And now I'm going to go in with this fluffy brush that I use to blend the blush, and I'm going to dab it into the light shade and just go over the pink a bit just to soften it up. I went ahead and cleaned up this blush shade right here a bit just to kind of give my eye a little bit more shape and to kind of draw out where I want to have my eyeliner. I'm going to be going in with this Anastasia liquid liner, and I'm going to try to do as thin of a wing, but we'll see. Wings are definitely not my area of expertise, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna do this off camera because I cannot do this without like being into the mirror like that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was doing my eyeliner off camera, I decided to just go and do my other eye off camera because, let's face it, you don't want to see this twice. It was pretty simple, so I think one time was enough. Something that I forgot to mention before I did my eyeliner, but I'll go ahead and say it now. This is a tip that I discovered myself. Before you do your wing, go in with your dip brow and kind of like do an outline of where you want your wing. If you mess up your outline, it's very easy to just smudge off and act like it never happened. Whereas with eyeliner, if you mess up, you just gotta make it thicker. So I do an outline of the wing, and then I go in with my liquid eyeliner and just slowly, very slowly, start tracing that line. And it makes eyeliner so much easier. So now that our eyes are done, I'm gonna start with my base. I'm gonna go in with my Dior Forever and Ever Wear primer. I really like this primer because it doesn't feel like most primers do, very like tacky and just like a thick layer on top of your skin. It's very thin, almost water-like, and just melts into your skin. Now that our skin is all prepped and primed, I'm gonna be going in with my Huda Beauty Tantour in the color Light. I like doing my cream bronzer and cream contour under my foundation because I find that that's what makes your complexion look most flawless and most natural. It's way harder to make a mistake with your cream bronzer and cream contour if you're gonna be going in with the foundation on top of it. And also, you kind of use less foundation because you're not gonna want to completely cover the cream contour and bronzer. So I'm gonna start by putting this basically in the perimeter of my face, my forehead, along my cheekbones, my jawline, and also my nose. So yesterday wasn't the first time I actually sat down to film a video. I actually sat down to film my first YouTube video when I first started posting my makeup. My initial plan was to just start my YouTube channel the second I started posting my makeup pictures, but it was a lot to handle at first. First of all, I wasn't good at managing my time back then. I didn't have much on my plate. I was just working full time, and pretty much other than that, I didn't have any other extracurricular activity. It took me a hot second to just get in the rhythm of just being productive and doing something else outside of work. Also, I was kind of very uncomfortable the first time I sat down to film. It felt very intimidating and very scary sitting in front of 4 soft boxes, a ring light, and a camera, and I just was not used to it. It was a lot. Another reason why I think I was just scared and kind of put it off for a hot minute is because for me, when I first started posting my makeup pictures, it was a big deal. I was really just stepping out of my comfort zone at the moment. I remember when I first posted like my first makeup picture, which was like the most natural thing, was like natural glowy everyday makeup. I literally sat like in front of my phone for like 5 minutes and just like contemplating on doing it, but then I was like, I was tired of being scared of literally nothing and having my fears holding me back from doing what I've been wanting to do for so long. Using this flat brush, I'm gonna go into the Huda Beauty Tantour and contour my nose. I like using this flat brush to contour my nose because it makes contouring your nose so much less intimidating and easier. You just kind of flick up the brush with product up and it leaves the contour in its perfect place. Now I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick. It's their stick foundation in a color mink, which was made for contour. I've heard a lot of complaints about this foundation being like too dry and like hard to blend, but I personally haven't had any problem blending this foundation. And I don't find it dry at all. I find it actually very creamy. My favorite part about it is the shade. It's very cool toned, so it's the perfect contour color. I like going in with mostly all my products on my hand and dabbing the brush on and then going in on my face. I find that I am able to just take off the excess product and just go in with what I need. So I'm an idiot and forgot to press record before I did this last step. Probably look like a crazy person, but I went in with my Go-Go tint from Benefit. This is a lip and cheek stain. I went in and put this on before my foundation, just so my cheeks can still look rosy once I put foundation over them, and it looks more skin-like rather than just like flat. There's still one more step before foundation. So now I'm gonna be going in with my MAC Strobe Cream. I think this is like a moisturizer with like pressed pearls or broken pearls. I don't know what it is, but it has a very nice like sheen and like shimmer. Not even shimmer. It just gives your skin a beautiful glow. I went in and put this on like my bare skin before I had any product, but I'm just gonna go in one more time right before my foundation just so I can give myself a little bit of a highlight. Today I'm gonna be going in with my Dior Forever Skin Glow foundation. This foundation is honestly so underrated, and I kind of was sleeping on it for a while. I had it just sitting in my like makeup collection for a good like 2 months. A couple looks ago, I pulled it out just to like try it out and to, you know, use more products on my Instagram, and I loved it. This foundation is everything I need it. Makes your skin look glowy, not oily. Makes it just look healthy and just perfect. Doesn't cake, doesn't emphasize your pores, very buildable, has a nice coverage, but not full, definitely not full, but it can build to like a medium full coverage, and works great with powder. I noticed that a lot of like full coverage foundations, if they look great, but once you apply powder, that's when they start looking a mess. My camera died again. But let me explain what I just did. So I focused most of the product that was on my brush right here and here, and with the excess, I tapped over the like contour and blush area, just to not cover it completely up. I know what you guys are probably thinking. Everything before the foundation was probably a waste of time, but it was not. It looks very subtle and blended out perfectly, and it won't be hard to reinforce what I did with powders. You know, it's harder trying to fix something than just trying to add a little more. Okay, that is it for foundation. Now we're gonna move into our under eyes. I'm gonna start by color correcting just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with my Dragon Beauty Skin Perfecting Potion. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to use the tiniest bit of this and just on the inner corner of my eye. Okay, like I said, tiniest bit. You don't need too much. And I'm just going to leave it right here because this is where my dark circles are the most prominent. Now, I'm going to be going in with 2 concealers. I'm going to be going in first with a brightening concealer. And this concealer is very light, but the reason I chose a very light concealer is because this color corrector, it blends into your foundation and concealer. But I find that by using a very bright shade and it blending in with this orange, it does the perfect color to just color correct. Yeah, if you go in with like a concealer that is your shade, it will blend in with the orange and it will be way too dark. So go in with a lighter shade. And on top of the creamy concealer, I like to go in with a more full coverage concealer. These two concealers are actually new. I haven't used this like NARS concealer in the longest time. And I've actually never used a Smashbox concealer, but I wanted to give them a try. Usually I go in with like my Holy Grail concealer, which is my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer. I go in with the shade Light first, blend it in with like this orange shade, and then I go in with my Marc Jacobs Accomplice Concealer. That's usually what I like to do, but today I want to give these two a try. I've heard a lot of good things about this Smashbox concealer, and I remember this concealer being really good, so let's see how this turns out. I'm gonna use the slightest amount of concealer and use a like fluffy blending brush and just blend it into the inner corner of my eye. I'm not gonna bring this color anywhere else because I really don't have much darkness right here. So I don't like to go in with extra product if I don't really need it. And I'm gonna go in with my wet sponge just to take any excess product. Now I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox Studio Flawless Skin Concealer, and I'm gonna be mixing two colors. I'm gonna be using one that's like my perfect match to like my skin, and then a brightening one to get like the perfect color in between, a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but not as light as like a brightening shade because I already went in with a bright color under, and I kind of want to use this to just like neutralize my entire under eye. I'm gonna go in with a tiny beauty sponge and get the product and pat it into my skin. I'm also gonna focus this on the inner corner of my eye, but with this concealer I am gonna bring the extra product to the outer portion of my eye. Now I'm gonna immediately set this under eye because I don't want to give it a chance to even start to think about creasing. And I'm gonna keep looking down because when I look up, that's when the product starts setting into my fine lines. So I'm gonna be going with this IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores powder and doing a very thin layer of powder with a brush. So I went ahead and did this eye off camera. My first impression of these two concealers, I like them. I like how they work together. So before we set our whole face with powder, I'm gonna be going in and applying just a little bit of this brightening shade on my forehead and on my chin, just to give my face balance, and I'm not just really bright under my eyes. Okay, so now we can finally go in and powder the rest of our face. It's all a piece of cake from here. For me, foundation and concealer especially, is the most stressful part of my routine because you can mess up and it's hard to fix messed up concealer. But now that we're done with that, I'm gonna go in and powder my T-zone first. I'm gonna go in first with this Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. Probably butcher that name, but whatever. Really like this powder because it gives like a soft matte to your skin and at the same time blurs everything. It is so good. I use this on my T-zone because it's where I have like the most texture. I'm gonna spray my face first before going in with this powder. I'm gonna use this Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Woo. I got a little too much powder on the first time, but I'm gonna add a little more for my forehead. Now with this side of my brush, I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the deepest shade, which she only has 3 shades, so I think it's the 3rd one. And just put it on the perimeters of my face. I'm going to put a little bit here on my side just to marry it with my cheekbone. And I'm going to focus most of the product right here. I'm going to go in with this contour and also contour my jaw. And I'm going to place this contour not under, but right here. So it could give shape to my jawline. I'm also going to bring this onto the side right here. Now we're almost done. Time to contour our nose. I'm going to be using this flat like eyeshadow brush and getting the contour and also just flicking it up like I did with that cream bronzer shade. And I'm going to be pretty generous with this because it always just ends up washing off with my bake. So now I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Veil Powder, this one right here, and I'm going to use a brush to apply my bake, except on my nose area where I need to like be more precise. But right here I'm just going to pat where I want my bake to be. I'm pretty much going to just wipe it off immediately. I don't like leaving it too long to sit because then I feel like it's kind of hard to blend out. Now I'm just going to bake my nose with my beauty blender. And immediately I'm just going to take away the extra excess off. And I'm just going to leave like the bare minimum to just bake a bit, and we are almost done. I'm going to be going in with blush now. Here is my Flesh blush, the one that we went in with our eyes, and I don't want too much of this. I want a good amount, but not too much. I think I might have put too much. And I'm just going to put this on the like high points of my cheeks. First I'm just going to fan it on top just so I do a light amount, and then I'll start patting it in. And I'm going to put a little bit on my chin and pat up on my nose like that. Cute little nose. I want to diffuse this eyeshadow a bit because I feel like it's a little harsher than I intended it to be. So I'm going to get a fluffy brush and some translucent powder and try to diffuse it a bit. Usually that always works for me when I kind of mess up a bit. I just go in with a little bit of translucent powder, buff it in, and it just diffuses the shadow pretty good. This translucent powder really helped soften up my eyes. Okay, now that we're almost done with our face, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lashes and brows off camera because that is pretty boring and then I'll be right back to highlight my face, set my face, and do my lips. Now, we are going to do one of my finishing touches. I'm going to be going in with this Marc Jacobs, what is it? It's like a coconut dewy setting spray. And I'm going to spray it on my highlighter brush and pat it right on top of my highlighter. And it's going to create the most beaming, glossy skin you have ever seen. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to be going with this Fenty Beauty gloss in color Pretty Please. This is part of their like holiday mini set. I thought it was such a steal because you get so many beautiful glosses for pretty cheap, and for me personally, minis are so worth it, especially for lips, because I don't use like lip glosses and lipsticks on like everyday wear. I just use it for when I sit down and do my makeup here. So this is a really good idea for someone like me who doesn't use makeup every day but still wants a variety. So yeah, that concludes today's look. I hope today's video is not all over the place because I had a lot of issues with my camera. It glitched and like shut down a good 11 times. But I finished it, I pushed through it. So yeah, that concludes this look. I had a lot of fun filming this, even though it took a while because my camera decided to glitch a good 10 times, but hey, at least I was able to push through it and get this video done and show you guys how I did this flawless full glam with just a bronzer and blush. I think that's pretty impressive. Usually I go in with like 4 eyeshadow palettes, but I hope you guys like how this look and video turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.